Hello everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. Remember back earlier in 2013 when we found the EPA giving a bunch of private information from farms and farmers across this nation to people that wanted it, like people who wanted to do some things against agriculture? I won't name them, but guess what? They're working on that issue, and they have some comment periods that we need to be talking about, which we're going to do in just 60 seconds. Stay tuned.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. You know, therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
Well, despite the outcry from agricultural groups across this country, it doesn't look like EPA is going to dance to our music at all. EPA opened a second public comment period, and it's going right now, goes through the end of January 30th, in which they want to know what they should do about people wanting private information from feedlots, farms, farmers, names, addresses, telephone numbers, emails. Well, they gave it all to them just a year or so ago, and they were people that were trying to put together some programs to go against agriculture. So what do you think? Well, EPA doesn't propose any changes to the way in which it protects confidential business information according to what we see today. Somebody needs to comment pretty heavily. In fact, during a telephone conference with ag reporters, Senator Chuck Grassley, you remember him, don't you? He's from Iowa. He won't be with us next year because he retired. We're going to miss him. But he said it appears EPA turned a blind eye to the interest of agriculture in rural America. The rule is troubling because it'll allow disclosure of personal information for anyone who has to file a permit, he said. That can include a farmer's home, mailing address, phone number, GPS coordinates, or of any particular farm. Grassley says the proposed rule would allow EPA to disclose personal information to people who request the data. And folks, there's agricultural groups across this country that don't want some of that done, and there's a heck of a lot of us farmers that don't think they have a right to it. You're looking at one. In the meantime, folks, can we make more farmland? You know, a lot of us go out and buy farms and say, well, boy, this is a solid investment. They'll never make any more farmland. Well, in some instances that's true, but guess what? Little research has shown that, boy, you can sure make more land available for production. In fact, something out of Virginia, some group there, especially the colleges, coming up with no surprise that between 2005 and 2006, 2014 and 2015, when cash corn prices peaked at the high, you won't believe the number of acres that came into production. In fact, the supply surge attracted 157 million new harvested acres worldwide, and it looks like a lot of it, of course, back in the early days was in soil bank, and now we're dropping, for example, the Conservation Reserve Program from 34.9 million acres to now 25.6, so there's 10 million acres right there went back into production, and we've got more stuff that can go back to production, so keep that in mind. Fertilizer prices aren't coming down with oil prices, are they? Have you checked lately? I have. They might be a little weaker here and there, but sure not very much. They're not dropping like gasoline prices have or diesel prices, but folks, keep an eye on it, because I don't think it's going to drop very much due to the fact that people are getting ready to buy up for spring planting already, and that causes a lot of good prices to hang tight. In the meantime, total machinery investment for farmers across this country doubled from 2004 to 2013, but machinery expense per acre rose by 68%, which is about 6% a year. All that from Kansas State University, the Kansas Farm Management Association. While running about $50 an acre in 2003, machinery expense is now more than $80 an acre. Thought you'd like to sleep on that one for a while. See you on the next Steckline Report.